Have you ever looked at a bit of camping kit on eBay and decided to put a best offer in, never thinking that they're going to accept, and then suddenly they have, and you think, oh no, I've got to buy it now. Am I going to regret this purchase? Let's find out. So the Lightwave Sigma S15 is a single wall tent, and it's the type of tent I've always fancied, but they're usually the bivvy style. They are brightly coloured, designed for faster light mountaineering projects, and the S15 looks to be a great compromise between the bivvy style and a conventional tent. Now I'm going to explain all about the dimensions in this video. Let's see if Lightwave are telling the truth, and I'm going to have a first pitch and a look inside and explain about some of the high-tech materials. Looking at some stats, Lightwave say this is 50 by 14, and with a little bit of a squish that actually is 44 by 15, so a bit shorter than they say. The weight they say is 1.3 kilos, and I have that 1.344 kilos, but inside here there is an instruction manual, and that brings it to exactly 1.3 kilos. Now I've also got the footprint included with this, and I know that says S10, but this is actually the S15. That weighs 300 grams. See S15 there, and it's a bit confusing because the S10 was rebranded as the S15. Now I've kind of been a bit of a copycat really, because my friend Andrew Park, who I'm doing part of the Tour de Mont Blanc with this September, has just bought one of these. So copying is the best form of flattery. Now in here there are 4 guy lines, reflective, and there are 8 large kind of thick square section pegs and 4 slender kind of little meat skewer type things, and altogether they weigh 105 grams. This is the little instruction booklet, and current list for these is £650. Right, the footprint is made from 90 denier taffeta nylon, and with single skin tents you pretty much get what you see. Tent's kind of bigger than this. Pretty nice bag. I like the integrated peg bag. I don't trust these though. They're called flash pegs. I think I might flash them into my storage thing and use some longer pegs. Lovely silky material though. I always like to judge the texture of a tent by, would you like to wear underpants made out of it? There's 2 main poles, and they are DAC Featherlight. They're 8.7 millimeters, not massive, and 1 shorter cross piece, also 8.7 millimeters. Now I wonder what those extra guy lines are for, because of course they look to be pre-attached here. Never used a single skin tent before. I can't believe that that's all there is to it. Just a bit of flappy material on the ground. I'm quite excited now. Reflective material on the sleeves there. Slide that through. It says to leave a foot out. Pretty easy to slide those through. Lightwave say they upgraded the material to make it nice and easy to get through. These look well built. So far the quality feels amazing. Really good. This is the black X-Tex material, and rather boldly on their website, Lightwave say that with this, condensation is a thing of the past. Now I've also read that this tent is a Hilleberg Sulo killer. Do you hear that sound? It's the sound of 899 dummies all being spat out at the same time. Just joking, of course, this is a completely different kind of tent. But apparently is 4-season. Quite stiff to get in, that. Now, I've read some enthusiastic accounts of this tent where they've said in typical conditions it's been lovely and dry, but I've also read that in very prolonged, kind of all-night rain, the material struggles to wick away moisture. You know, it's a breathable fabric. That's got it. Perhaps like E-vent, but I'll show you in a second. It's got these micro dots that serve to wick the moisture away. Oh, with use that should slacken a little bit. Looks pretty small. I just hope there's space for the dog and I, but definitely easy to pitch. Look at that, the shortest pole sleeve in the world. It's like barely the width of your hand. And peg the rear out. Quite a vertical wall here, probably will catch some wind. That might suppress the inner tent space. I think I'd be tempted to pitch that one at that kind of angle to put more tension on this part of the tent rather than, yeah, definitely that way. Right, then we'll peg out the front. And that is pretty much it. Looks quite nice. I'm really surprised not to find an extra guy out point on here. If I keep this tent long term, I'll definitely be getting one put on there. Right, there's 5 guys left to do and 5 pegs left. The outer material is 20 denier sil nylon. I'm glad this one's got a double zip on. I know some of the early versions only had one zip on, so that's a relief. Great quality, this little tab there to get hold of that at the bottom. Now with this tent there's only one door, so you definitely want to be pitching with the prevailing wind. Come and get the end of the tent. If you can see that, that's the beginning of this X-Tex material. Labelled 37.5, I don't know what that means. It's like slightly rubberized kind of feeling to it. And this is also 20 denier. This is the bathtub, not too bad in terms of depth, and this is 40 denier ripstop nylon. Porches are massive. Total width there is 85. Total length there is 220. This is not as generous as the Nortent Vern 1, but of course this tent's half the weight. Now what I want to know is there's space to take waterproofs off in here, and yeah, I would say that's okay. I could get in there, take that off, absolutely no problem at all. Over trousers off, that would be fine and dandy, no problem. Good. Smells lovely and new. Okay, let's go in. You first, my friends, as per normal. Just one small door here, and there's a wee bit of mesh at the top that you can't close off, but that's just a kind of small area. Doesn't look over ventilated, this tent. I mean, you know, other than that mesh at the top of the door and this vent, there's kind of no vents at all. How do you ventilate it? How does it possibly stay condensation free? Okay, in you go. Right, there better be space for me and the dog, else this tent's not going to last long at all. It's not a bright evening tonight, and it's quite dark in here. So the grey glow around the bottom is where the footprint is, and above that is the black X-Tex fabric. Very well made though. How is it? I haven't been in yet. So there's just one door that opens this side. Let's get some light in here. This is where we find out if there's a lantern loop or not. Oh yeah, there is. Now I've also gone a bit nuts and bought a new mat as well. This is the Nemo Tensor Extreme Conditions Regular Wide. So since we're going crazy, let's blow this up for the first time as well and see if this tent will accommodate a wide mat. Lovely and compact this. Now, I haven't won the lottery or anything. It's just that I've got a few friends who love outdoor gear, and they've all been getting stuff recently and going, "Dave, this is fab. You must try this." And I have. Oh, yeah, that's not a bad size in there. Oh, sorry, I left you outside. Okay, if I place my feet against the bottom wall there, got a full arm stretch above me, and I'm 186 centimetres, so yeah, pretty generous. Lightwave say this is 230 long. Make that a generous 227. Couldn't get it more than that, but 227's fine. At the widest point I make that 90. They say 95, but if you flatten down the footprint, that's 95, but that's ridiculous really. So, you know, it's got to be 90 there, hasn't it? And this is the big one. They say 1.1 metres. That's exactly a metre. Now, has anybody ever been to the factory that make tape measures for tent manufacturers? Because it's not from the same place that I buy mine, I can tell you. It's annoying. Right, this is the Nemo mat. There's a little strap around it. Paid for this myself as well. Everything tonight I've paid for myself, except for the little Flex Tail Zero pump. I really like this though. This is the pump sack. There are two things I really like about the Zero pump, other than its low size and weight, and they are the fact that it's probably sounding noisy now, but it's massively quieter than the Mini Pump 2. And the other thing is you can just pop it on there and get on with other stuff. Okay, that's the 186 60 centimetre wide mat in there. Fits in fine. Loads of space at the bottom. Got a reasonably generous pocket here. And another one here. It's not a tent for amazing cinematic views outside. I'll compare it to the Vern 1 again, which I've been using a few times recently, where you can open both sides of the door, and the old model Vern 1 you could do that as well. But again, this one's about multi-day backpacking in reasonable conditions and absolutely keeping the weight down. And it's, you know, something different to try as well. A bit of fun in life. Now, none of this matters a jot if the dog's bed doesn't fit in. Your bed, just there. There you go, in there. He's in. Bit of a tight squeeze. I think if the wind was blowing against the outer tent there, she'd be getting a bit battered. But let's shut the door here. Oh, it's a bit of a squeeze for the two of us. Maybe the wide mat might not be the best thing in here. I don't mind a mummy mat or a regular, but I thought I'd go for the wide. Have I made a mistake? Have I made a mistake? The mat. Do we swap the mat? That's the thing. We can both fit in it. Oh, That's the solution. She just comes on here with me. Is that the solution? Not a very good one. A little bit squeezy for me and the dog, but that might be the choice of Matt more than anything. So I think we'll try camping with it and see how we go. Great. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you've had any experience with this tent, and I'll be out for a camp in it soon. Pretty strong on there.